Hi all, in today's
Jadi ini adalah video animation yang menunjukkan bagaimana internet bekerja lah, how the internet works.
video, we'll talk about the internet and find out how it works. If you thought that the internet works by satellite, find out that you were wrong. So how does the internet work and where does it come from? Before starting this video, don't forget to activate the subtitles and smash the like button. The internet is everywhere but still nowhere. He is on the phone, TV, or computer, but where exactly does he come from? Every time you receive a notification, access a site, or send an email, the data is sent via cables that are found all over the globe and so reach the recipient. The data you want to access on the internet is very far away from you and is stored at companies such as Google, Facebook, or other hosting companies. From here, your data may be transmitted to you via a satellite. But this is useless because the bandwidth of a satellite is very limited and leads to long delays. So what's the solution? Well, find out that data on the internet circulates mostly through fiber optic cables that cross the earth under seas and oceans, among sharks and other strange creatures. The cables are very, very thick to protect the optical fiber inside, which is very fragile and sensitive. These cables are connected to landing stations located on the shores of the oceans, and from there the internet goes to an entire continent, forming a huge network. If we found out where the internet comes from, now let's see how it works. To better understand, let's take a concrete case. Let's say you want to access certain data from the internet from a phone or a laptop that is connected to the internet via cable or Wi-Fi via a router. The data you want to access, for example a video on YouTube, is stored in a data center on an SSD of a server. But how does this data get to you? Any device connected to the internet is identified by a unique group of numbers called the IP address. And the IP address of your phone or laptop, for example, is given by your internet service provider. Also, the server where the data you want to access is stored also has an IP address. So, through the IP, the information has a sender and a recipient. Moreover, if you want to access Google.com, for example, it also has an IP address hidden under a domain name to be easier to use. Because for us humans, it's much easier for us to remember Google.com than to remember numbers like 105.39.4.284. This is where DNS technology comes in, which works like a phone book. Specifically, DNS associates a name for each website IP address in the world. From here, this data request that you made is transmitted to the respective server and the data transfer to you starts. The data flows through the fiber optic cable system in the form of light pulses and thus reaches your router. From here, the data is transmitted by the router in the form of electrical signals via internet cable or Wi-Fi. But what if you use the internet through mobile data? Well, the signal is transmitted through the same optical cables to a cell tower, and from here the internet is transmitted to you in the form of electromagnetic waves. In the end, I think it's quite important to know what the internet is and where it comes from, given that we use it daily, and without it our lives would have been much harder in all respects. Thanks for watching.
Okay, how internet functions smoothly, iaitu bagaimana internet ini berfungsi dengan smooth lah, dengan lancar. Di mana kebanyakan komputer ni, dia akan disambungkan dengan internet menggunakan internet protokol, iaitu kita panggil sebagai TCP/IP lah, Transmission Control Protocol Internet Protocol. Jadi kebanyakan pengguna komputer dia akan menggunakan TCP/IP lah untuk memastikan capaian internet itu smooth di mana kita tak nak berlakunya traffic jam di laluan internet yang kita nak submit data ataupun send email dan sebagainya Jadi internet ni dia akan menggunakan internet protokol yang sepatutnya dan kita ada banyak jenis internet protokol lah. Contohnya TCP/IP yang kita guna, UDP ataupun OSI protokol Jadi protokol ini adalah set of rule, maksudnya set peraturan yang kita panggil sebagai protokol dan setiap komputer ni dia yang bersambung dengan internet dia akan menggunakan internet protokol yang bersesuaian lah. Okay. Dan communication protocol yang digunakan adalah internet, dalam internet adalah TCP/IP iaitu Transmission Control Protocol yang bertanggungjawab untuk membahagikan mesej kepada paket-paket tertentu pada komputer sumber iaitu sender dan ianya akan hantar ke destination komputer iaitu receiver lah. Dan internet protokol ini bertanggungjawab untuk mengendalikan alamat komputer, address of the destination komputer supaya paket-paket tersebut dia akan sampai pada destinasi yang sepatutnya. Okey, selain daripada TCP/IP, kita juga menggunakan OSI model pada rangkaian iaitu model Open System Interconnection. OSI model ini adalah conceptual model konsep yang dicipta oleh International Organization for Standardization di mana ianya membolehkan sistem komunikasi untuk berkomunikasi menggunakan protokol yang standard. Contohnya dalam plain English, maksudnya dalam English yang biasa, OSI ini dia akan menyediakan standard untuk sistem komputer yang berbeza untuk berkomunikasi antara satu sama lain lah. Okey. Dalam model OSI ini, ianya juga dikenali sebagai bahasa universal yang difahami oleh komputer networking dan ianya adalah berdasarkan konsep of splitting iaitu konsep membahagikan sistem komunikasi kepada 7 abstract layer, kepada 7 layer dan setiap layer tersebut dia mempunyai tugas ataupun fungsi-fungsi yang tertentu Jadi ini adalah model OSI di mana terdiri pada 7 layer iaitu bermula dengan physical layer di mana physical layer ni dia akan transmit, maksudnya dia akan menghantar aliran bit ke atas aliran fizikal dan seterusnya pergi kepada data link layer iaitu data link layer ini akan mentakrifkan format data pada rangkaian. Seterusnya ke network layer iaitu untuk menentukan laluan fizikal yang akan diambil oleh data. Okey. Jadi seterusnya pergi ke transport layer di mana transport layer ini bertugas sebagai menghantar data dengan menggunakan protokol penghantaran termasuklah kita menggunakan TCP Transmission Control Protocol ataupun UDP bergantung kepada komputer lah. Dan yang kelima adalah session layer iaitu mengekalkan sambungan dan ianya bertanggungjawab untuk mengawal ports dan juga session lah. Yang keenam, presentation layer di mana ianya untuk memastikan data itu berada dalam format yang boleh kita gunakan dan kita boleh encryption. Jadi encryption juga dibenarkan lah. Dan yang terakhir adalah application layer di mana lapisan untuk interaksi komputer human lah, human computer interaction HCI yang membolehkan aplikasi tersebut diakses oleh pengguna Okey, ini adalah video apa yang disebut sebagai OSI model
When discussing networking, it's handy to have an abstract conception of the different types of connections needed in order to successfully complete data transfers. Such a model was developed in order to help troubleshoot network problems, promote interoperability among devices, and to simplify the task of writing network protocols. More broadly, it provides an overall framework for understanding networking complexities. Known as the Open Systems Interconnection, or OSI model, it has 7 layers, each describing a different type of connectivity. Very briefly, those layers are as follows. Layer 1, physical. This includes the cable and wireless connections among devices, as well as specifications of the jacks, plugs, voltages, etc. Layer 2, data link. This layer provides the direct protocol connection between 2 nodes on a network and handles error connection from the physical layer. Layer 3, network. This is the routing layer, at which packets are forwarded from their source to their destination. Layer 4, transport. This layer coordinates the transfer of data between systems and hosts by specifying such things as how much data to send and at what rate. Layer 5, session. For 2 devices to transact specific functions between each other, a session is required, and this layer handles setting up sessions, coordinating the rules for communication, such as how long to wait for responses, and how to terminate the session. Layer 6, presentation. At this layer, data is prepared for presentation between layers. For example, data that is encrypted across a network would be decrypted at this layer for presentation to an application at the destination device. Layer 7, application. This is the layer at which applications are displayed to the end user. That's all pretty complicated, and it helps to have a simple way to remember the names and the order of the 7 layers. Fortunately, people have come up with memory tricks to help them remember from layer 1 to layer 7, and also from layer 7 to layer 1. Here are a few of them. First, here are some tricks for remembering the layers from layer 1 to layer 7. Please do not throw sausage pizza away. Phew! Dead Ninja Turtles smell particularly awful. People don't need to see Paula Abdul. Pete doesn't need to sell pickles anymore. And these are from layer 7 down to layer 1. Anchovy pizza should tempt nobody's delicate palate. All pros search top-notch donut places. A penguin said that nobody drinks Pepsi.
Okay, jadi dekat sini dia bagi keyword lah untuk memorize, maksudnya kita nak senang ingat untuk 7 layer yang terlibat dalam OSI model.
A priest saw 2 nuns doing push-ups.